welcome back to another episode of Extreme. My name is Zach.
My name is Joey.
And this is a podcast where we dig deep on your favorite video games.
Woo!
That's right, and we're still playing Mega Man 11.
11. It's so good.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, recap up to this point. How are we feeling on it? Hot, cold?
I'm feeling hot. Hot, baby.
Ooh, that's right. Let me get over there and give you a touch. And ooh, guy, you on fire, dude.
Yeah, don't touch me for too long. That exposure will burn ya.
I was going to say, my hand got first-degree burns even just for a second.
Yikes.
If I go any further, I might get like 12th-degree burns.
Is that a thing?
I don't know, but I feel like you can make it a thing.
I'm gonna burn your soul.
Something burns your skin, but some people burn your soul. Anyway, I think this is a good game, too. So let's keep going into it. We have two more bosses we want to get through today.
Yes.
I think let's just jump into it with Fuse Man.
Oh, yeah.
Not to be confused with Elec Man and every other electricity-based boss.
Right.
This one is just Fuse.
Yeah. And it's like a man.
Yes, breaking the tradition of all Mega Man bosses by being a man.
Yes.
Because as we know, all Mega Man bosses are normally just squares.
Right. Or like...
They're giant sentient squares.
More like cubes.
Oh my god, that was awful. What's going on? Joe, I think I could do better on that one.
You want to re-record it?
No, you know what? Let's just keep going. Maybe you could help me out here. I'm tossing it to you. What do you think that should have been?
Instead of squares?
Yeah. What are the Mega Man bosses normally?
I don't know. Circles?
God damn it! Alright. Fuse Man. So it starts off with these electric field generating robots that just move across the screen. Fairly standard Mega Man-ish enemy.
Yeah. Circles.
Yeah, see? Giant enemy circles. Maybe you were right. And then you there are literal hotspots on the ground.
Yeah, it's a good conveyance there because you just walk into it.
Yeah, it's conveyance via pain. Pain veyance.
Pain veyance.
It's like when you're except when you're like doing firewalking, they tell you that it's firewalking initially, so you can mentally prepare. Right. This is like if you went firewalking, but they were like, "No, it's fine."
he's gonna find out that he's going firewalking, whether he likes it or not.
It's like, this looks hot. It's like, nah, don't worry about it, man. Just step on it. See how it feels. And yes, much to my dismay, stepping on a hotspot does not immediately get you Wi-Fi in the game.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, no, it wasn't. But I appreciate you giving it to me. Anyway, so there's pain veyance. It's not the normal kind of conveyance where you can dodge the danger, so to speak. We should come up with something like that. Like, I like the word pain veyance.
Pain veyance?
In the way that it's like, yeah, the situation has been conveyed to you, but not without a little bit of hurt.
Right.
It's like beating a lesson into you, so to speak.
Yeah. It's like learning the hard way.
Yeah, pain veyance. Okay. We're trying to remember that for next time.
Write it down. I mean, don't forget to write it down. We haven't said that in a while.
No, we haven't, but that's fair. We're bringing it all back this episode.
Yeah.
As we keep moving forward, there's a segmented forward momentum section featuring laser traps and the electric robots from earlier. So they're kind of just layering on, like, very slowly, the difficulty here, because before it was just the lasers or the robots. Now it's the robots and these laser traps. And if you're paying attention, you notice that the only time the laser beams are on is when they're on a hotspot.
Ooh.
So, keen eye for detail pays off here.
It's a good catch there.
Exactly, and that may help you later. So it's important to keep an eye out for things like that.
Yeah.
So as you keep moving forward here, there's a little bit just a straightforward platforming section, not much to talk about, but it does lead into this laser grid force field area. I don't quite know what to call it.
Yeah, laser grid.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it is.
Like, those movies, Mission Impossible.
Yeah, like the Mission Impossibles. I don't know why I thought you were going to say Tron for a second.
Tron? Do they have laser grids in them? I guess.
Well, like they have lasers in there. There's probably a section where there are grids with lasers.
Yeah, but not like painful death lasers.
Well, unless you're talking about the lasers from that motorcycle chase scene. Those just become walls.
Right.
That's
like
very painful.
Like the standard Tron thing.
Mm-hmm. But so for this section, though, it's a bit of a weird area because they introduced the concept of this laser grid initially in that standard platforming section, but not to the point where you really get to analyze it.
Right.
But here, the layout of this particular area is odd. Because normally what I would expect is them to kind of force you to a point where you can start platforming, like, after you've had a moment to take in what's going on.
Uh-huh.
With, that feeling of moving forward while at the same time being safe and having a time to take in your surroundings and understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But the way that this particular area is set up, you don't actually have to do that. They allow you to just kind of jump right into it.
Right.
So it's not forced conveyance in the way that some of the other levels are. You kind of just need to take the time on your own to actually stop.
Right. You have to, just stop and, look at what's going on.
Exactly.
Consciously.
It's not forcing you to pay attention to it. It's kind of gently urging you to, which seems odd because most of the other times they want to convey a mechanic or an enemy tactic to you, they kind of force it on you.
Right.
In the way that the area sections are designed.
Yeah.
But this one, it's not, because you could just jump up into the laser grid area as soon as you enter the area, which would lead to not conveyance, but again, painveyance.
Right. So it's at your own risk.
Exactly. So it's an interesting dynamic there, where they're kind of eschewing their normal game design principles for this more open platforming area.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, it's fine.
It's cool for a level.
Yeah, it's not bad in any way. It's just it's like a B plus out of instead of an A.
Okay.
Cause there is a way to go through it and be in the normal way that I expect you to go. You slide underneath some pipes, and then you're in the spot where I would expect you to normally start. Because you would actually, through sliding underneath those pipes, you have a second to take in how the laser grids work, and then you can plan your attack.
Yeah.
So it's nearly there, but it just seems like a bit of an odd design choice.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
If this was in any other game, I would have absolutely no problem with it. But the problem is that they've set a precedent of very, very good conveyance sections where it's absolutely perfect. They force you into a situation where you have to understand the situation around you.
Right.
But this one doesn't quite do that.
It's more like an analytical thing,
Exactly.
You just have to look at it like a puzzle or something.
Exactly, but the problem is with an action platformer like this, the player instinctively wants to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So they're not really going...
It's not really that type of game.
Exactly, they're not in the frame of mind to stop and think. They're going to you have to kind of trick them into stopping and thinking by making that buffer area that they normally do.
Right, yeah.
Which is why I think this is kind of it's fine. If any other game was doing it, it's fine. because they probably don't have the same kind of acumen in creating that, which is fine. But you've had such precedent up to this point with Mega Man 11 that I would expect a little better.
Yeah.
But anyway, again, if you did happen to stop and analytically look at it, you again get reinforced. You reinforce the idea that these hotspots power these lasers, but not only that, the hotspots power the lasers, which power the laser grids.
Ooh.
So you're seeing how things are layering on top of each other. It starts with just a hotspot, and then a hotspot with a laser, and then a hotspot with a laser leading into the laser grid.
Right.
So you kind of see how all these elements interact.
It's a system.
It is. It's like an actual electrical system.
Yeah.
It's like when fuses interact to, make electricity run through them.
Yeah.
It's
High
almost
school.
like, look at that shit. High school knowledge coming back to bite you in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
But holy, okay, we're at 10 minutes in. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
There's an upward climbing section here, which tests your ability to maneuver through those laser traps. From the beginnings, again, it's like they showed you how to interact with the laser grids, so you move through with them as opposed to getting hurt by running through it. And this is taking that design to the next level by adding in more platforming, more nuanced laser grid designs, more areas that you need to, actually pay attention to how they interact with the environment.
I find that the speed gear would be totally useful for this level.
That's the thing. It's actually a very astute observation. The speed gear is probably the best thing that you can use in here. Because a lot of it is based on, as we've learned, it's all on timing.
Yeah.
So it's the timing of when the laser hits the hotspot, the timing of when the laser hits the laser grid. It's all about timing. And if you can disrupt that timing by using the speed gear and actually giving yourself that advantage, you're able to move through with relative ease.
Yeah.
So it's just another reason to not forget, hey man, you have the double gear system, don't forget about that shit.
Yeah.
Because I tend to forget sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Mega Man. It's like the first time you have this kind of ability,
That's the thing. They've drilled it into our heads that the things Mega Man Classic can do is jump and shoot. And slide. But this is a new thing. So if they keep this and move it forward into Mega Man 18, like we were talking about, then I could definitely see this being a second-hand, like a second nature kind of thing.
Right.
And then as we keep moving forward here, what's something I want to talk about just quickly, but we never really touch on it because we just run through it. But I think it's important, and we never talk about it. It's areas with just nothing in them.
Okay, I noticed that, and I'm like, why?
So
it was specifically more noticeable in this level. They had more of those.
That's spots. There's a lot. It's a lot more noticeable here, but it happens in every stage if we're paying attention to it. Yeah, it's not in the same spots, but they always have these rest areas, so to speak.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
I think it's because the rest areas normally come after a very hard section.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of like to decompress before the next section.
Yeah, okay.
Because if it was constant hard difficulty, you would kind of get burnt out.
Right, it's forcing you to take a break.
Exactly. And the way that the stages are segmented, they're each their own little area. So every time you move on, it feels like you accomplished something.
Yeah.
You get through a platforming section and then you transition into the next area. That feels like you have progressed.
Right.
So
it's like mini levels in each level.
Exactly. And by having it with hard platforming section and then right after that you have low-key rest area, it gives you that moment of okay, I'm going to just scale it back here. I made it through, and then now I'm resetting, and I'm ready to keep going. Because what they normally do, they don't hit you with hard easy, and then hard again, they reset it. It goes from like hard, rest, and then back to like easy or medium.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I like that observation, Zach.
thank you. Yeah, because it helps your brain mentally reset, so you don't get burnt out.
It also like allows you to just it's like right after a super hard part. It allows you to just like enjoy the level, just like the background and just like walking.
Exactly.
You know?
They usually have something interesting going on in the backgrounds there, so you have that moment of clarity just to actually take in the other parts of the game that you may not have been paying attention to. Maybe even just pay attention to the music. Maybe you haven't even been paying attention to that.
Right.
So you have this rest area, which gives a lot of other reasons to take a break. Or a lot of benefits to taking a break. So yeah, I don't think we talked about it really at all, but I feel like it's a very important part of a platform level.
Yeah, I like it.
Actually, you know what? In the vein of rest areas, let's take a quick break. Paul, can you put on some like rest music? No, don't pee in the rest area, Joey. Oh man, I stepped in it.
Yeah, my bad. I couldn't hold it in.
That's fine. I mean, it is a rest area, but I didn't mean rest your bladder.
Sorry.
Oh. Anyway, the thing you could have peed on was this mini boss here. It's just a power generator. That might have helped us.
What's the deal with that?
I don't know, but first off, the design of the mini boss looks weird to me.
Yeah. I find that like a lot of the mini bosses are kind of weird like that.
It looks like an unintentional. So actually, I looked it up, and this is verbatim what it says in the database article about it. Mm-hmm. It has an unintended reggae master look.
Yes,
I'm not joking.
That is true. It's the sunglasses.
It's the sunglasses and
the
beanie and the hair. The
the hair. Oh yeah.
The power generator hair. Anyway, so it uses these laser traps to force the player to maneuver around because it can't move. It's a power generator.
So many lasers.
What it does is just shoot you with tons of lasers. But what would you think a power generator's weakness would be? Bucket of water? Maybe I don't know, big baseball bat?
Maybe a rubber?
Maybe a giant fucking rubber ball? Because that's what it is.
It's
how is that?
Can't conduct electricity. Haven't you seen Pokemon?
You're right, because giant bouncy balls are definitely giant rubber bouncy balls are the things that should be thrown at power generators.
Exactly.
I remember when I was a kid and I had a kickball and then I punted that shit at the power generator and it blew up my school.
Good times.
Oh, it was fun. But I mean, why did they keep dangerous rubber balls around power generators? Just for kids to kick around willy-nilly? Did they know that could blow up power generators?
I know, like, it's so unsafe.
So unsafe. Anyway, you end up beating the power generator and it explodes. But you keep moving on here, and we have a repeat of the laser grid from earlier, but...
Oh, yeah.
Remember how we had a problem with the first one? This fixes
problem with the first one.
Yeah, the first laser grid area where it wasn't conveyed as well.
Right.
This fixes that problem by doing one simple difference. It makes it so you're not able to jump up in the beginning. So it forces you to go through the pipe segment to actually see how it interacts this time. Did we reverse these? Was this supposed to be first?
I don't know.
And the other one was supposed to be second?
Ooh, interesting.
It feels like those are out of order. Because if you have this first area first, then the precedent is set, and then you can have them skip it because they've already interacted with it.
Right.
So it feels like that's backwards.
Or maybe... Yeah, I don't know.
It feels like that's how that should, progression-wise, be, because the concept's conveyed. And once it's conveyed, you don't have to reconvey it. So you can just have them like, oh, they know it now, it's fine. Just let them jump through it. Either way, they at least got it right the second time.
Yeah.
And then you keep moving through here. There's a final climb area that focuses, again, on these crisscrossing laser beams and upward platforming. So there's just a shit ton of lasers.
Just most of the, difficulty is the lasers.
Exactly.
There's not really many enemies.
No, it really is just environmental hazards.
Yeah.
And again, I hope you've been paying attention to the fact that, the laser beams only work on those hotspots. So pay attention to when it's on hotspots. But as we move through this platforming area, I think it leads us straight into the boss. So unless there's anything in particular that we missed... Jerem! We missed Jerem!
Yeah! Long time no see, buddy.
Yeah, it has been a while, hasn't it? What have you been up to? Wow.
That is cool.
I didn't even know that you were... Wait, so you were still time traveling through the space vortex? Oh no, but your ship crashed. You had to... No way. You became king of the clarinets on the planet you crashed on? Oh no, but you let the power get to your head and you turned into a tyrannical despot and then they kicked you off the planet? Oh no, wow. Wait, sorry. I totally misinterpreted that. You just said you went down the street to get a bagel. Wow, sorry. My Jerem is a little rusty. It's been a while since we've seen you, buddy. Sorry, that was my fault. That was my fault. But it's good to see you again, Jerem. Do you want to help us talk about the boss here? Do you have a minute before you go venturing off again? Okay, cool. Wow. Yeah, I think you... All right, so I think he's going to help us a little bit with this Fuse Man talk. So, Joey, let's lead it off here. So, Fuse Man, very interesting boss. Focuses way more on speed.
Right.
And electricity.
Yeah, and horns. That's right, Jerem.
That is right, and he has fuse horns.
Yeah.
Because, they're running out of ideas for electricity-based bosses. Anyway, so, sorry, I almost called him Electman. Fuse Man teleports around in the air to random locations, firing a single electric bolt in your direction. Pretty straightforward. That's pretty much the only attack that he does. They'll have electricity balls going around the area that you just need to dodge, but otherwise it's just teleporting. Hazard. Exactly, it's just more environmental hazards.
Yeah.
Granted, though, when he kicks it into high gear and uses the speed gear, he uses this light speed attack, which, oh my god, it's visually crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Just teleports to, 3 locations and immediately crashes down, creating a giant electric field where he crashes down.
Yeah.
It's very
I
impressive
love, like,
to
the
see.
colors.
Yeah, it looks really cool to see. Slowed down as well.
Yeah.
You actually see him moving to each location and crashing down.
Right.
But yes, it's visually very impressive.
This whole game, I found, like, the visuals are just amazing.
They really do go above and beyond. I like the design that they've employed here.
Yeah.
And then as we moving into the second phase of their attack, again, it's just pretty straightforward. Just double everything. So he doubles the amount of attacks that he can do, shoots 2 laser beams, and now the electrical balls can move anywhere on the screen. Again, pretty straightforward boss fight. But visually, I thought it was very impressive.
Indeed.
Because it makes him seem very fast with all the teleporting.
Yeah.
And it's not like that stupid teleporting with, Sting Chameleons teleporting. Where it takes 500 hours to teleport to a different location.
The 90s.
At least they've figured out that my time is more valuable than that.
Yeah. They've gotten better.
A little bit. Alright, and then you get the Scramble Thunder attack, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, it's cool.
Shoots a laser beam, a ball down onto the ground, and it follows in wherever the ground may lead it.
Yeah.
Pretty
Similar to
straightforward.
the Spark Mandrill
Yeah,
attack.
pretty much, except you don't punch the ground.
Right.
Or no, it shoots it forward, right? This one shoots it straight down.
This one's down or up, I think.
I think it can be up too. Up or down. Not side to side.
Right.
It's almost the same. It is actually pretty close, isn't it? You're right. But yes, that does Fuse Man, and oh my god, we are running so low on time. Let's keep going. Take a quick break here, and then we'll get into Impact Man.
Impact Man.
Maybe he'll actually have some impact. Probably not. All right, Impact Man.
All right. Impact
Man, I wish this stage had more impact.
Yes. It's funny because last episode we were just talking about how enemies just like run into you and that's how they hurt you. This is just like a culmination of
It's
that.
1,000% that. And not even just that.
Yes.
The thing that I really don't like about this stage is that it's on rails, so to speak. So I'll explain it as we go through what I'm talking about. So it starts off with just literally the most uninspired enemy I've ever seen in a Mega Man game. A literal electric fence.
Yeah. I was like, are these enemies? And if they are, what
is this even? I get that you're trying to keep with the theme of the construction yard, but like, why? Why have these?
At least have them shooting something at you.
Yeah, they just exist.
I don't know.
They're just in the way. They take one hit to be destroyed, and they're just there.
And the only thing that could hurt you is if you
ran into it, if you impact. You're right. Anyway, so the main mechanic of what I was mentioning before is just moving platforms. Most of the time, the recurring mechanic for this particular stage is you are on a moving platform and you cannot easily hit enemies that are throwing things at you. So it's all about just dodging enemy fire. But this seems like it. Like again, you start off with the theme of construction site, and then the second you dive in there, the main enemy you see is a fucking rocket launching robot.
Yeah.
What?
Like, underground. I don't get.
I mean, I get the robots with pickaxes, but like, what? Why is there a robot that shoots literal rockets at you in the construction yard? What is its purpose? Like, I get it, you use dynamite to maybe clear out caves in, like, olden times, but, like, what the fuck? You're a giant robot whose job is to drill through the earth. Why do you need bombs? Anyway, it just seems like they maybe misplaced this enemy for, I don't know, maybe a area that focuses on bombs and explosions. Maybe a stage that has a robot master that starts with like blasting or explosion or blast man.
I feel like this level maybe is just uninspired and then they just want to throw something in there.
But there is one thing that I do really like about this stage. The welding enemy. So it's an enemy that is on the ground, and it literally doesn't interact with you per se, but it makes like lava spots on the floor that removes that spot as a potential area to stand on.
Right.
So it's an interesting design and concept for an enemy, because if you don't attack it fast enough, it could remove the entire platform for you that you can't stand on it anymore.
Uh-huh. And
it does fit the level. So you know what? That's actually a good design, and I think that's a very inspired idea. But as you keep moving forward here, again, power drills are shooting now into you as you're on these moving platforms. Fine. It's fine. And then there's just more standard platforming. Again, fine. The mini boss is a fucking actual earth mover. Like the real life thing. like the human actual man-made equivalent with like basically a human driver in it. Like the robot equivalent of a human driver.
Yeah.
It's just why? What's happening with these mini bosses that are just so weird? They're either ridiculous or insanely boring. Like,
and they're all the same exact size.
Yeah, they're very large. There's no small mini bosses. But anyway, like I'm lumping this in with the like mini boss and Acid Man stage, which was just a fucking vacuum. And this is just a fucking earth mover. But then you contrast that with like a power generator with glasses and like dreadlocks. It's like, what? You put so much effort into the weirdest parts. It's like, it's so designed by committee.
I think their main thing was like, look what I made. Like, they're just having fun making, like, things.
So, sorry, I didn't mean design by, I meant, like, designed by, like, different people in completely different departments. And then they were just like, I made a thing. And then they said, like, here, you work on this, you work on that. And they just were like, fine, it's all together now? Okay, here we go. It just seems odd. Also, you beat the Earth Mover by dropping a ton of bricks on it. You know, just as you do in real life.
Exactly.
Oh, God. This level's...
The bricks are so useful.
I mean, that's the thing. They're out of... all these enemies are out of reach for your normal weapons, but you have special weapons up to this point, and one of them just drops bricks very far away from you. Which is perfect for taking out those enemies. You just turn on the power gear and drop like 16 bricks on them, and they're dead.
Yeah. Boring kills for boring enemies.
It's like in Indiana Jones when the guy is like doing the sword tricks.
I know exactly what
and he's like doing all this crazy shit, and then Indy just pulls out his gun and shoots him. Like it's exactly that.
I knew that's what you were going to bring up as soon as you said Indiana Jones.
It's such an infamous scene now.
Yeah.
But as we move through here again, I don't. It's another on-rail section. Again, you can't move at your own pace here. You have to follow the rail. And again, it's just more enemies throwing shit at you, and you just have to wait it out. I don't like that. I don't like having to wait out moving through a platforming area. It's not fun to dodge things.
I think everyone agrees with that.
If you make dodging a fun mechanic, then sure. But, like, dodging here is just jumping over it or shooting the projectile. Like, if there was a function in it whereby, like, you time, like, a dodge button, you get some shit, like it slows down time or some shit, or you get a special weapon boost every time you dodge an attack. Like, that might make dodging more engaging. Like, make dodging beneficial to me. In the way that it's not just, if you don't dodge, you'll die. It's like, fair enough, I get that much, but if you're gonna make the mechanic of it dodging, then make dodging fun.
Right. Like, you're always dodging anyway, but you could also move and jump and shoot. Now you're just
Exactly. When you're just dodging, it kind of kills the momentum of the platforming game. And if you're not having fun dodging, then you're not going to enjoy it. Especially if you die after one of those long segments and you have to do that shit all over again. They don't even let you start afterwards. It's like, oh, you died after the very long dodging segment. Well, fuck you. Time to go dodge again.
There's no even like save.
No, it's just the save point is after the Earth Mover, and then that's it. And then you get to the mini boss or to the actual boss.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they have the gall to do it again. There's 2 of those death track areas.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man. I think they could have done that a little bit better by just making dodging more engaging. Put in a mechanic that if you dodge enough times, you get an extra life. I don't know. Like, if a projectile is close enough to you, you get like 1/8 of the life. And if you do that 8 times, you get an extra life. I don't know.
Or give you like a tank at the beginning, and then each dodge gets you like some.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, make dodging engaging in that way, you know? Yeah. Especially if you're gonna base an entire mechanic around it. I think we guys will talk about Impact Man now.
Yeah.
So all those power drills that have been like trailing after you this whole time has just been Impact Man this entire time.
That was it. Just trying to get you.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a cool idea that Impact Man is attacking you as you're moving through the stage. Right. It's kind of a nice interactive, like, oh, you know what? I've been antagonized by the boss, and now I want to fight him in his face hole.
Yeah, it's always like a cool mechanic.
Exactly. But the boss fight itself isn't much to write home about. Again, he'll rush into you. He'll drop these rivets that you can't attack through. You have to destroy before you attack him. And then you got the power gear, which turns into a giant fucking drill.
Yeah.
And then just drills into the ground.
Yeah. It's basically a lot of impacts.
A lot of drilling. A lot of impacts.
And dodging.
And then you beat the Impact Man and get the pile driver attack.
Right.
Can you tell that I was not really inspired by this stage?
What? I thought this was your favorite level so far.
Oh man, did I give that impression? Let me try that again.
Oh, wait, no.
Fuck this stage. But at least it ends with a little fun internet backstory. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Impact Man. And I just realized we didn't do an internet backstory for Elect Man, so we'll do that after this.
Okay.
God damn it, I called him Elect Man again.
Yeah.
Fuse Man. So Impact Man, personality-wise, always on task with his assignments, Impact Man is dedicated to working as a construction robot. Even after his reprogramming, Impact Man still works diligently with his fellow construction robots. He has also a very loud and boisterous personality. As for the individual Impact brothers, so this is just an aside, Impact Man, as you saw, was made up of 3 individual impact machines. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Which make up Impact Man, but they are technically 3 distinct robots. So this is kind of like the Megazord of Robot Masters.
Yeah. Nice.
So let me get back. So as the individual Impact brothers, Kui Ichiro is the leader and eldest brother who never fails to drive his point home and usually takes control when the other brothers are combined. Kuijiro, the middle brother, is indecisive and often has to ask Kuiichiro for instructions. He is also very unruly and can never be trusted to take the reins when the brothers are fused together as Impact Man. Kui Saburo, the youngest, is the most responsible after Kuiichiro and takes charge of Impact Man if Kuiichiro is tired. He always makes time for proper maintenance, which keeps his Spike spotless, shiny, and sharp.
Okay.
Then I do have a data entry from the gallery here. A construction support robot built to withstand the toughest working conditions. Impact Man mainly works on the foundations of construction projects. His body is made up of 3 independent pile-driving robots who call themselves the Impact Brothers, Kuiichiro, Kuijiro, and Kuisaburo. He never hesitates and always rushes into action. His motto is, just push through! So once he's accepted a job, nothing can stop him from smashing through in record time. Usually, Kuiichiro, the oldest of the Impact Brothers, takes control when they're combined, but sometimes Kuisaburo steps in when he's worn out. There we go. Let me see if there's any in-game puns about impacting. So here we go. Maximum impact, and I like to spike.
Oh my god. Is that even a pun?
I don't know. It's like, what is a pun even anymore?
I don't know.
Although one of the death cries is pretty good. I see your point.
Okay.
There we go. That's
That
a
one
good
had
pun.
some impact.
And and then I'm just gonna lead right into the next internet backstory about Fuse Man.
Internet backstory.
Well, you can put it in the break again if you want, but you do you, man. I'm not your boss. Personality of Fuse Man. With an alert and on-edge disposition coupled by his electrifying nature, Fuse Man uses his electric-based powers to attack his opponents at lightning-fast speed. The character is also a bit of a show-off, moving at speed of light to demonstrate his agile prowess after activating his speed gear. Just like the other robot masters in the game, Fuse Man enjoys making puns related to his elemental powers even before his defeat. As an essential part of keeping the electrical power grid in check, Fuse Man has a sense of responsibility in doing his job. He is also shown as having a liking to animals. Most specifically, his pet rabbit, Watt. In fact, tending to his pet rabbit is the only time Fuse Man can relax, as his job requires him to be alert 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Which is expanded upon in the Mega Man 11 gallery entry. Fuse Man's job is to manage and fine-tune power transforming stations. He's designed to handle massive amounts of electrical currents, but if he ever encounters a current that's too strong to handle, the fuses on his head will blow, saving him from a critical overload. So that's why he has the fuses.
All right.
He's a crucial part of the city's power supply system, so he treats his job with a sense of responsibility and duty, putting speed above all else when a problem arises. Since his dangerous job keeps him alert 24/7, the only time he can let caution slide and relax is when he's caring for his pet rabbit. Now, they mentioned making puns about it, about his electrical nature. So let's see some of those great quips and or puns. You scrambled my electrons. I recognize that voltage.
God.
Let's amp this up.
Okay.
Assault and battery.
What?
Prepare to diode.
Oh, God.
And then once he's done, let's see, obviously shocking is one of them.
Nice.
And then some of his cries that he can say, blackout or short circuit. For a man that boasts having a lot of puns, pun game's not that strong with this dude.
At least he's trying.
He's trying. I'll give him like a 5 out of 10.
All right.
I mean, I think there's a lot more you could do with electrical
Yeah.
puns. So, you know what? I'll give him an internet backstory out of internet backstory.
Out of.
Internet backstory? Anyway, thank you guys for listening to Robot Masters is Enough for one episode, and we're running low on time. I wanted to thank you guys again for listening. It really means a lot that you're tuning in. If you feel like writing into us, we have an email. It's thextreme@gmail.com. That's ITSTHEXSTREAM@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Take a look. That's the best way to get in touch with us. I have been shitting the bed on social media. I'm going to be the first to admit it. Life has gotten very busy, so it's been very hard to monitor and manage that. So,
It's okay. Yeah. As long as
if
we
any of you
podcast.
are social media mavens out there, feel free to reach out to us. I really am running low on time nowadays. But I hope that's not a problem, because we'll still be doing these episodes, which is the main thing that we care about. So, either way, thank you all for listening. Oh yes, Jerem, thank you again for being here, buddy. Really appreciate it. Oh, yeah, you're right. Come on, let's go give him group hug. Group hug. It's been a
Thanks,
while. Okay.
Alright.
This feels nice. Jerem, you're not starting your teleportation right now. Jerem, wait. Jerem, hold on. We're still testing you. Jerem, wait, no. Joey, we have to let go. He's going to teleport us into space. We have to let go. Let go.
I can't. I'm still holding on. I can't let go.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
Where did we go?
I left my sandwich at home.